a little bit of giddiness around Palace, doesn't it? I mean, there's the 3-1 win against Manchester United.
Very deserved as
but
well.
I think it's probably because of the contrast between what was expected of them and how they look now, isn't it?
I think that what's happened now is that there does seem to be a little bit more in respect of Eze coming in to help Zaha. We know that they're very good in respects of defensively. I think that McCarthy are very solid for them. And Andros Townsend as well is somebody that doesn't get a lot of praise in that, but he's very busy, very dangerous, can score goals. And I just feel that Wilfried Zaha's getting a little bit more help now. And Ayew's very big. So they've got more happening. It's great to see him finally bring in a youngster like Mitchell's playing now. They need to do more of that. They need to buy more of those young players. But Palace, because they're so defensively sound and he's such an experienced old manager, he's just letting them play now. You know what I mean? I don't know what's going to happen to Wilfried Zaha. Someone was telling my Everton mate was saying, we're going to get him. We're going to get him. Can you imagine Wilfried Zaha at Everton as well? But I'm pleased for Palace simply because with Michy Batshuayi as well there, you feel like something can happen for Palace. So I like Palace in this game against Chelsea. I really fancy them the way Chelsea are.
Yeah, but that's the key point, isn't it? The way Chelsea are. At the moment, they've brought the new signings in. We haven't seen all of them in action yet. We haven't seen probably the best out of any of them yet. But it just, again, it feels like something that just...
Feels clunky.
But it just needs to click, even though it's clunky.
That's what it is.
Yeah, do you know we're referencing the seatbelt campaign from the 1970s?
You know what? When you look at Chelsea... and what they've got, especially going forward, I think Kai Havertz is going to be somebody that we're going to be raving about as soon as he gets his feet in. Same with Werner, how sharp he is and what they've got. But I think that Chelsea have got a team that you can feel that once the pieces fit, they're a very good team. Yeah. It's a very good team. It's just how long it's going to take them to get that going and get where it's smooth and they can get the players in the right places and then they can play some games, build confidence and start going forward and beating teams. Because for me, I don't think that hopefully the goalkeeper, Edouard Mendy is going to make a big difference to them. But just putting Thiago Silva in their back line as an experience is not enough for me. It's not enough. So I just think they need more. It's a Palace side that can really exploit that team.
I think for Chelsea, it reminds me a little bit of the Man United side. They bring these players in, you get Pogba coming in, you get Lukaku coming in, and you think, oh, they're really building something, and then it doesn't really go anywhere, and you're like, oh, okay, then they start bringing in another player and another player. They've got all these players that have come in, and we're just waiting. We're waiting for it to click, like you're saying. We're waiting for something to happen, because they got this nucleus of real talent. But Frank needs to be careful, because, again, time waits for no one, and they need to start winning, but they've got the players to do so. Yeah. But this is a difficult game for them. It's the worst game to have as well at this moment in time.
Yeah, and Werner's probably the one of the new signings who looks the closest to what Frank Lampard would want from him.
Yeah, he looks like the one that's hit the ground running. He's the one that looks like he's ready. He's already ready for a long haul of a season. Havertz shows little glimpses.
Lovely touches.
Shows little glimpses, but again, you want a little bit more. What I did like about Havertz was the actual other side of it, where he's actually chasing back and tackling. Yeah. Because it shows that he's got heart and he's got real hunger that wants to work. But you want to see the other side of it.
Ideally, I want him to put more emphasis on Havertz and give him more ball. I saw him do one layoff for the goal for where you think to yourself, that guy's got to be in the middle and the meat of the game, because he's going to make things happen, because he's so talented.
And it's just finding the right place to put those players in.
That's Frank's biggest problem.
Yeah, it feels as though there are the players that are coming in because, and they're still linked with maybe Declan Rice at Chelsea as well. And it feels that there are the kind of more prosaic players, like a Thiago Silva. The goalkeeping situation has been sorted. He might be interested in Declan Rice, who are the solid players that need to come in to make a difference. And then there are the sprinkles who come in and create magic. And
that's right. Chilwell as well, I think, to stabilise that defence, left back, once he's fully fit. And then you've got the little magicians. I agree with Righty on Havertz, but he has to play centrally and behind the striker. Not first number 9, not on the right-hand side, because his talent is wasted there. But I think the pressure is on Frank to find the right formula. I don't care there was a short pre-season. there's an incredible talent there. Yeah, and it was a horror show in the first half at West Brom. He's changed his back four all the time. I think 41 times in the last 46 games or something. Never the same defence, and I think he will need to get it right now.
Is there anything in the fact that the players who rescued the game against West Brom were all academy players? The three goal scorers.
You know what? Yeah, I think that's it's good to see that all three of them came on because they knew what it meant. But at the same time, Chelsea should not be 3-0 down to West Brom with the way West Brom defend and the way they played. And they showed in the second half, and once they stepped their game up, what they done. They bam, 3 goals, no problem. That for me is more of a worry. Than the fact that it was the 3 academy players. It's great for the 3 academy players because I think someone like Callum Hudson-Odoi has got a massive weight on his mind, thinking, well, what's going to happen to me when Ziyech starts playing?
Pulisic.
The Bayern link has come up again, hasn't it?
And you know, it's something that if I'm him, I've got to be looking at that very seriously because as tough it is going to be getting into the Chelsea side, of course it's going to be tough being in the Bayern Munich side. But if they want you, it's going to work for you out there. You know, he's going to play at Bayern Munich, whether it's in and out. He's going to cause problems because he's one of the most talented players that out of that Chelsea academy for many, many years.
Yeah, the Chelsea fans want to see more of Callum Hudson-Odoi. Yeah. It's an interesting situation, just as an aside, because there was the interest from Bayern Munich. Chelsea fought so hard to keep Callum Hudson-Odoi, and now the link is back on, and it looks as though he's going to be in and out of the squad. It's just strange.
It is, and you knew Pedro and Willian would go because they were off track. Yeah. So maybe the idea was Pulisic on one side and then Hudson-Odoi on the other. But then you've got the opportunity to sign Ziyech, and you do, and then to sign Werner, and you do, because you didn't think maybe they would come to you first. And then suddenly the whole dynamic changes for Callum. And I think Righty is right. You have to look at your options and say, do you know what? If he's to play 20 minutes there, start in the FA Cup, this is not for him. He's too young, too good to have that kind of role.
Earlier on, you said you think that Leeds will beat Manchester City, but the best thing about doing this on a Thursday rather than a Friday is you don't have to predict anything else. And we've just discussed how unpredictable the whole of the season is. So thank you to Emile and thank you to Jules, and we will be back at the same time next week. For now, though, enjoy the next instalment of this call-up. Were you bouncing on the bed in a shirt?
Yes. Because just in the training kit. Just in the training kit. Because what's weird about it, Kels, is that when I got in the squad, it was like Brian Robson and Gary Lineker and all those guys, Peter Shilton, faces that we saw come from the 1990 World Cup. And then you walk in the corridor, like you'd say, hi, how you doing? Like, yeah. And then when I went in the room, you just jump on the bed. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Brian Robson's just talking to me like normal.
But you put your training kit on to do it?
Yeah, I had my training kit.
You still had it on?
Yeah,
okay.
I just done it. I'm so excited.
Right, let's talk about what's coming up this weekend in the Premier League. Having said how unpredictable it is, you look at this round of fixtures and they're almost impossible to predict. Leeds against Manchester City, you would have thought Leeds, they'll give them a tough game, but it's Manchester City that, you know, they should probably come out on top. That one, though, is so difficult given how both sides have started the season, not just in terms of results, but performances as well.
Yeah, it's up and down, isn't it? Any other season, you're saying Man City should win that, 100%.